What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the New York Comedy Podcast Show here at the Sorts and Sports Studios, where you'll get a little bit of nuance and absolutely no cap. We're sticking with the Are You Garbage theme this week, but we're switching it up just a little bit, where we're giving you the top 3 guests based on the number of appearances on the show. Can you guess who they are? Stick around and find out.
Sorts and Sports?
Sorts and Sports.
Sorts and Sports!
All right, folks, settle in, stay a while, because we've got a lot to get to and a little bit of a change in the theme this week, as we mentioned before. The Are You Garbage podcast gave us 2 family episodes, Chewin' Tinfoil and Car Full of Bees, which got me thinking about the guests on the show. So this week, we're going to rank them based on the number of appearances that they've made on the show. So here we go. In the 3 spot, we have a 5-way, hey, where's this night headed? A 5-way tie with these comics who each make 4 appearances on the show. So we've got Tom Thakar, we've got Paul Verzi, we've got Ari Shaffir, we've got Tommy Pope, and we've got Mark Norman. Each one of those comics with 4 appearances on the show. So they're all in a 5-way tie for the 3rd spot. In the 2 spot, we have a little bit of a surprise, at least as far as I'm concerned. We have comedian Joe List, who has 5 separate appearances on the Are You Garbage podcast. Joe List, obviously, of Tuesdays with Stories fame, so shout out to Joe List with 5 separate appearances, and he's in the 2 spot. And finally, in the top spot, the number 1 guest, at least as far as the number of appearances goes. You may have guessed it already, but you may be shocked at the amount of times as this comedian has been on the show. Who is it? Drum roll, please. Cousin Ian. We have got Ian Finance with 9 appearances on the Are You Garbage podcast. Go ahead and count them. I've seen them all. I love them all. So shout out to Cousin Ian Finance, who has 9 appearances on the show, the number 1 guest as far as the number of appearances on the Are You Garbage podcast goes. As a guest, Cousin Ian, everybody. All right, so let's do a quick recap. In the 3rd spot, we had that 5-way tie with Tom Thakar, Paul Verzi, Ari Shaffir, Tommy Pope, and Mark Norman. In the 2nd spot, we had a little bit of a surprise with comedian Joe List, who has 5 separate appearances on the Are You Garbage podcast. And number 1 overall, at least in terms of number of appearances and in some of our hearts, we have Ian Finance with a record-breaking 9 appearances on the show. Now that's a record I can't see broken anytime soon. Well, there you have it, folks, the top 3 guest spots based purely on the guest number of appearances on the show. Holler at us if you think we made any mistakes, if you like the previous version of best moment reviews that we usually do, and if we get enough comments, we'll drop one of those midweek. Like and subscribe if you like this show, and peace!